Hello.
And welcome to Church Online.
Praise, be thou mine inheritance now and always. Be thou and thou only, the first in my heart. O sovereign of heaven, my treasure.
Verses 3 to 4, if you, Lord, kept a record of our sins, Lord, who could stand? But with you there is forgiveness, so that we can, with reverence, serve you. We mustn't judge people at all, regardless of their race, their gender, their faith, their social standing, all sorts of other things. We can't right every wrong, but never stop working and praying for the greater good. In the parable of the sheep and the goats, which I think might come up, Matthew 25, it's quite long, verse 31 to 46, and I'm not going to read it all out. But in that parable, the sheep cared for all those they met. They looked after them, they fed them, they watered them, they clothed them, they did everything that was needed, while the goats ignored everything. And Jesus obviously felt that it was really important, but he repeated that message of social justice 4 times in 15 verses. And we must take note of that. He cares about social justice. There are so many unjust areas of life today: economic inequality, racism, segregation, healthcare, human rights, violence, abuse, climate change, drought, famine, food and hunger, corruption, human trafficking, vote rigging, and so much more. Even today, voting is a privilege. Women in this country didn't get the vote completely until 1928. In France, it was 1944. In Liechtenstein, it was 1982. It's a precious gift we have, and we have to care for these things. So what has God placed in your heart? Has he placed anything? Are you listening to that still voice of what he would like you to do? Mine, as many of you know, for years has been human trafficking. I can't stop it happening, but I can, and we can, as a church, do and support a charity, Hope for Justice. We support them financially and prayerfully. They work to bring about change. I met one of the survivors who was rescued from a sex work where she had been trapped for quite a long time. And her words were, which continues to break my heart. She said, "Where were you? Why did it take you so long to find me?" And that's a challenge for us all. Where are we in society? Who should we be caring for? It's a challenge. As I said, we can't right every wrong, but we should never stop praying and working towards the greater good. Hope for Justice advocated for years and years for change in the British courts, for fairness in the treatment of traffic survivors. At last, and it's taken years, change is happening, and witnesses can now pre-record their statements and be examined and so on, rather than having to give evidence in an open court in front of their exploiters, which causes such trauma to be relived. Think of climate change. We can all play our part in that by turning off the lights or readdressing our needs. We can change all sorts of things if we want to. We can feed the hungry. We can clothe the poor. We have the ability in this country particularly. We're a rich country, rich in resources, but we all need to stand up and for what is right. Consider prayerfully where you stand for godly justice. Maybe you could campaign for change. Maybe you could go on a march like people did last year for climate change. You could volunteer. You could raise awareness of whatever it is God has put on your heart. Raising funds to facilitate others on the front line, as we do for Hope for Justice. It's not a safe place for us to be on that front line. Focus on those who can't help themselves, or on the environment, when we can all make changes to our lifestyle. Do we actually need to drive 5 minutes to the shop? Could we not catch a bus? Could we just do something, little thing? Do you remember the story of the starfish on the beach? And there were millions of starfish. There's all sorts of variations on this story. But there are millions of starfish on the beach being stranded by the waves. And a little boy goes along and he picks one up and he puts it back in the sea, and he picks another one and he puts it back in the sea. And somebody says to him, What are you doing? You can't save them. They're going to die. And he says, but I can save that one. And maybe that's the challenge for us. Make one change in our lives and stand up for justice. Genesis 1:31 says, God saw all that he had made, and it was very good. And we're destroying it. Week on week, day on day, we're destroying God's perfect creation. And that's so wrong of all of us. Only God can bring about justice in this corrupt world, but we have a responsibility to be involved in it. When we work together towards a common goal, it becomes easier to see and easier to achieve. He's never given up on us, and we shouldn't give up on him. Amen.
I've heard 1,000 stories of what they think you're like, but I've heard the tender whisper of love in
Thanks for being here
with us.
Here today.